Hi guys, welcome to another video. I'm just going to show you today my Commander Gree. I thought I'd get down to showing you some of my customization. This is my first ever customization figure. I've never done anything like this before, and I thought I saw a few videos online, watched quite a few different ones, and just thought, do you know what, I'm going to go for it. So I've already reviewed my Clone Trooper Phase 1 from AliExpress. And this is exactly the same figure, and just painted up. What I'll do today, I'll show you Gree, and I'll show you some of the bits that I've used to hopefully inspire you to create your own, and that we can build armies and whatnot, and show you from there. I chose Gree in particular because I already made Gree in Phase 2. As I said before, I'm a Phase 1 fan and not a Phase 2. And I kind of like to make figures that maybe Hasbro won't make, because obviously they made the others already. I mean, perhaps they might, because the season coming out on Disney. But I think they're already into Phase 2 anyway, so they probably won't bother with Phase 1. Anyway. So yeah, I thought I'd show you and how he looks, and go from here. So, up close. Bit of detailing is band in here. I chose Gree as well because for a first customization, it's pretty standard. You know, no sort of like abstract colours, nothing over the sort of top on patterns, and yeah. Come on, zoom in. There's his band there. He's a bit darker than this guy, but I thought Gree was more green than he was this sort of washed out colour. But I thought I'd use this guy as a... It's a shame his one helmet comes off. Mine don't. But I had tons of these. I used to love the old Clone Wars from back in the day, so I got a ton of these. So I use this guy as my reference bunny. Got your silver bit on the back. He's got his black holster and gun. So yeah, standard AliExpress figure. All I done was weather the gun up a little bit, as they come pretty well done painted. They only come with this, and they only come with the smaller blaster rifle. So unfortunately, he didn't come with pistols. So I had to make some of those, but I'll show you how I did that later in a bit. So I won't go through the articulation. It's pretty much just standard normal. Bit of dirt and scuff. A silver bit on there, and his pistol with a holster, which also comes out, and with a replicated blaster. This is what I've shown on my other video, and this is one I painted once I finished painted it, and that was the holster once it was finished as well. It's not going to come out very well because it's black. Yeah, obviously again, as I said, I didn't want to paint the inside because I didn't want the paint to rub. And it goes there. So yeah, that's my Gree, people. Just give you a little step by step as I was doing it. I'll do everything on pretty much a budget as well, because I don't want to go out there buying everything that's the official stuff. So to try and get the straight lines, use this tape. It's from Wilko's. Only cost £1. I've tried normal masking tape and it didn't work. It was like really going underneath. It was sort of bleeding underneath. But with this one, it's a bit vinyl-y and it doesn't really bleed much. It still does, but not as much. So I recommend that. When things do bleed out, I use a scalpel knife, and then I just literally, as I said before, I'm better with a pen than I am with a paintbrush. So I'll literally just scrape it down to get those straight lines if it has bled out a little bit. But bear in mind, his face did come out not as good. It did come out a little bit more. There, but I kind of like it. It's kind of like the chipped look of clones. But as I said before, I kind of like them clean rather than the way I made this guy. It's because the way Hasbro make it, they have a little bit of dirt, but it's pretty much a solid figure, like as they should have come out of their as their first outing on the battlefront or battlefield, depending on what you prefer. So to create that holster, so I bought a Captain Rex, which is my Guinea Rex at the back there, and I cut all his bits off. So that's his pistol. Obviously, remove. And yeah, as I said before, I bought this stuff on Amazon. I think they called it green stuff, but it wasn't the official green stuff. It was something else. It cost about £7, and you just put it in the on the hob, 3 minutes. And once it's all gone all a bit sort of gooey, just roll it into a big ball, lay it flat, and then slightly push in the gun. Let it set, do it again, lay it on top of the gun. So now you've got a two-place mould. So once that's all dry, just split it up, take the gun out. And then what I did was fill it with Milliput. Again, never used this stuff before. It's quite simple to use. It's just get one ball of... I'll just open this up and I'll show you. So it comes with 2 parts. I ain't used this packet yet, but you literally grab equal amounts, roll it into a ball until it goes to one solid colour. It goes really gooey. It's not like sort of nice sort of plasticine type, but yeah, just put it into the mould and about 4 hours, let it set. And then once it's set, you can pop it out and you have something quite solid. So this is another pistol that I made. So I've got to make a few of these because there's a few commanders that use these. Yeah, I did buy a Dremel. Got a cheap one that was about £15. So I do sort of slightly just drill out the inside to make it around, and sanded the edges, sanded the gun down, Dremeled the gun. Also used the scalpel as well, so be careful getting into the tighter corners. So that's another one I've got ready to be painted up for another custom a bit later on. To glue the gun on, I use this Rapid Epoxy. Brilliant stuff. Takes about 3-4 minutes really. Once you sort of bind it all together, let it set, and it goes rock solid. And you could always use the bit on the side that you leave. Just keep testing that to see how the one on the figure is sort of like sticking. So once it starts going a bit sticky, you can still use it, and that's the best sort of time really, because it will hold it more in place. To do his bandolier, I got inside. I've got like a bit of an elastic, like a cut down to the size for him, and then I got Fimo stuff, which is the stuff that you bake in the oven. It says on there that you cook it at 110 for 30 minutes, but I literally did it at 90 for about 15 minutes and that's from me actually turning on the oven, because I had a few goes and they just literally kept going brittle. I mean, I don't know whether this will go brittle over time, but it's just, it did go brittle. So when I tried bending it into place, it did keep shattering. So what you see here is probably about the 11th attempt. Still not the best. I mean, I've just had a little bit fall off here, but a little bit of glue and I can pull it back on place. And then just to get to texture on it, I literally turned it over and laid it on the elastic, just pushed down to make sure I got the right size. And what you see there on the indentations is actually the elastic print on there. Paint wise, Tamira paint colours. I did do a bit of research. A lot of ones saying I can't think of the word of it now, but you can get it from Games Workshop and stuff like that. But trying to find a Games Workshop near me is like a needle in a haystack, really. So even a Hobbycraft is quite far away. But I was around one and I literally pick up quite a few paints. So this wasn't the green, and to be honest, there's not a lot of colours that you probably think, oh, that would be the colour, that's what I need, because this green come out really glary. I got another green that was a little bit, just a bit meh, so I just combined them together. Because it went a bit dark, then I just added a white, just a little tab, just to brighten up the actual green itself, and then that's how I got this colour. And these other ones as well, while I was in Hobbycraft, Tamira weather paints. So depending on where you want your clone to come from, you've got sand, light sand and mud. And then you've got another one here. It's got burnt blue, burnt red and oil stain. So it's good for like maybe Death Star or Celeste. Burnt red, which is good for like Geonosis sand. Burnt blue, I don't know. I did have another one, but it's gone missing. But it had like rust and mud and dirt. You know, all the other places around. So depending where you want your clones to come from, you can combine them together. I think that's it. That's everything I've used. You know, obviously just a standard paintbrush, nothing crazy. I just got some cheap ones. This one's got a bit tacky because I've not washed it, but literally just cheap ones you could get from the works or just any other little place that sells paintbrushes. Because at first I didn't even know which paintbrushes to use, so I just literally bought about 2 packets as they come with all variations. And the one I use is more like a pen nib. Which is like this sort of shape, and actually you can get in there and do like really good detailing with that one. I was quite surprised how well you could actually do sort of up close detailing with a paintbrush. And then for bigger areas, it's better. I found out it's better to use a bigger brush, because if you're using acrylic paints, so sorry, don't use enamel paints, use acrylic paints, which these are. Because apparently it doesn't sort of set well on plastic. That's only through my research, but it's giving you a bit of a shortcut. So these ones are good for sort of like surface areas. So like obviously it's like his leg, and then this one I was using for all those intricate little detailings. But anyway, that's my clones. That's Commander Gree. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.